Like Popful Mail, where they sort of tampered with the damage values and turned what would have been a good boss fight into a not really good one. Like here, I know I can beat this boss because you saw right there that I was doing pretty good, and if I wasn't doing so little damage, I'd probably have beaten him twice by now, but nope. And I don't know, maybe I'm just getting used to playing so many like unfair games, but not once have I felt like this boss fairly killed me fairly in a way that was fair. I feel like this boss is pretty unfair. So
I mean, they don't call it fair souls. I don't know.
demons aren't fair. But that's the thing, it's like with that Flame Lurker boss, I mean, like, I could actually block his moves, I could actually hit him. He still had that weird flinch property, but otherwise, like, then again, it might have been because I had my stats the right level, because I can easily imagine that fight being messed up. What the? Why didn't that work? If, like, he was constantly chipping me all the time. Actually, he was. I could just regenerate it fairly quickly. You know what? I think that might be it too. Is that part of the fact that it just has to do with the fact that this is an RPG, and the bosses do not appear to scale with you, or the enemies in general don't appear to scale with you. So,
I mean, that's a good thing, right?
um, no,
Cause,
I
well,
think
I
so.
cause I've been playing Final Fantasy VIII, and that's got level scaling, and like I don't know. I guess it kind of feels like I'm leveling up for nothing.
That's the thing. Is like I already feel that way about this game, where it's like or at least the old hero made me feel that way.
I mean, it's like okay, I got enough experience points to level up, but what good does that do me? Because
Oh my god, I'm stuck. I hate
stuck on the geometry.
that. Yeah. He's stuck on geometry. Look at that. He's walking in place.
Now's your chance.
Yep. See that? Third strike. Not the game, I mean his attack had a third strike that I didn't know he was going to do. Oh, now I know why it said I couldn't carry any more of these, because I have 99 full Moongrass. You didn't program it to go higher than that.
I mean that's your that heals you, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, why not just spam it during the old king fight?
You can't, because you take so long to heal that
Oh,
they can hit you while you're doing it. It's not like in other games where you pause the game and use your whatever healing item in the menu, like in Devil May Cry. Here you actually have to do it in real time. And let me tell you, they take their sweet ass time when healing. Who knows? Maybe I am underleveled, because that's just another thing. It's like I have no idea of knowing. Like for all I know, it's like if you go to like the walkthrough or something, they're probably looking at this and saying you're doing way too little damage. You should be doing X amount of damage.
uh-huh.
Or it's like, oh, you're using the wrong weapon. You should be using blah weapons. It's like I have no idea of knowing. Are my stats too low? I don't know.
Put it all in defense.
There's actually no defense stat because everything you level up levels up your defense.
Oh.
The answer is within you. Yep, roll early for that one. Little chicken shit. Oh, shut up. Keep Okay, I actually did interrupt him out of that one. So there are some attacks where you can interrupt him, one being his Mega Explosion move. The other being, I think, that backward step one.
That's handy.
Oh shit, my phone's ringing. Isn't that great having a game where you can't
Oh.
pause when your phone rings?
Jeez. Get Bluetooth.
Oh, that's not, never mind, it's not my phone, thank god, it's just an alarm. Because, I actually have to... What the... Did he just do that 4 times? I've never seen him do that.
He's adapting.
Yeah, 4 hits. Huh. Oh my god, that... I'm sorry, the snooze is driving me crazy now. See, you have to get close, but if he just so happens to, like if I get unlucky with the RNG, he'll just do that 3-hit combo up close after I've hit him because he has barely any hit stun. Hang on, I gotta do something real quick.
Sure.
Okay, I'm back. That wasn't too long. At least it wasn't that time my mom tries to give me a cupcake. I have to tell her I can't pause. She's looking at me all weird. Because even though she doesn't play video games, even she knows that I can pause the game. So I don't have any excuse to ignore her. Except for this one. What's going on in the Skype chat now?
Nothing. Just more Zanrio tales.
Tales of Zanrio.
Yeah. Exactly.
There we go.
Have you gotten a hold of that game yet?
All of what?
You gotten a hold of Realms of the Haunting yet?
Oh, yeah, I got it. It's just, I haven't started it yet. Because now I need to, basically just set up DOSBox for it. So that, because I had to run a special, write my own, like, batch file or whatever you call it, so that it could open Hoboken without me having to do whatever it is you do in DOSBox to get it to actually run a damn game.
Jeez.
You have to, like, enter the command, run C drive, wherever you put the game in, but with the batch file, it basically...
Did you get it as a Abandonware or something?
I think so. I don't know where I got it, but I did get the original, the ROM for it that you have to use for DOSBox.
Oh, okay. Because I know the Good Old Games version has its own little launcher, so that's... It's pretty tricky. I don't know. It's kind of like a Silent Hill FPS.
Huh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I'll definitely get to Realms of the Haunted. Hopefully it's not too long a game. I mean, I do have my summer break to pretty much beat it.
Well, Shouty says I think he beat it in like 10 hours, so...
Oh, that's good. This game, I've actually gone past the 32-hour mark, so... this isn't a very easily commutable game.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oak sounds like he's actually getting kind of pissed with the game.
Yeah, I know.
I'll still give it a shot because
Yeah.
I was willing to play Potful Mail the whole way through. I just can't resist the challenge of playing a game, even if it's bad.
I'm kind of stuck myself. I kind of like the exploration aspect of the game, but the combat, I don't know, not so much. It's sort of like how I am with Silent Hill. I really like, solving the puzzle of that place, but the combat, not so much.
Kind of another... I don't know if I said this already, but a weird thing that I find about this game is that there's something kind of halfway about the combat. Have I expressed this thought before?
It sounds familiar. Like it doesn't do things quite all the way in some aspect, but I kind of forgot.
Yeah. Because, you got... Yeah. You've played Monster Hunter, right?
No. I own Monster Hunter, but I haven't played Monster Hunter.
Piece of shit. Hold still so I can hit you.
Oh, we're just asking about pastries.
Like a cake or a bagel? Yeah. It's actually been a while since I've been hit by that move. It says soul level drain, so I have no idea how much I've been de-leveled. I haven't actually looked at that. That fucking move, man. Yeah, see, I could heal right now, but then he could just hit me. Like that. See? That's why you always have to wait for them to do something. Now I can heal. Like even now when he's just walking at me, I can't hit him because then he'll just super armor through it. Like that move right there. Fuck. See? There's another reason. This move, however, is actually the safest one for me to get in a clean hit without him doing anything. Or no, that's not true. Because his hit stun is so small that, yeah, he can come out with another move while I'm stuck in my recovery frames. Look at that, he's already doing another attack. Heal.
What a jerk.
Yeah. Hopefully they fix this in Dark Souls. What the? What? Okay, I don't even know what happened there. He dashed, but he didn't do the telegraph for it. It's like it glitched.
Ah, that's just cheating.
Because he always goes, and then he does the dash. But there, he's just like.
Accurate representation of the game's sound effects.
What the fuck? I hope you saw that, because the direction the sword beam went was not the same as where his sword went.
Oh, no, I didn't really.
That's happened on occasion where they
Okay, maybe I think I saw it. I'm not sure
Where
how
it's
much
like-
delay we have.
There we go. Eat it. Yeah, that. See, if he just does that, even if I get a clean hit, it's just like. Maybe I am underleveled, but I don't know. This boss isn't that good. There, look at that. He's doing a gap closing attack at fucking point blank. It's like, what is wrong with your AI?
Oh man, he just doesn't care anymore.
Cause you know what the dashing move he does where he goes across the room? He
Right.
never does that up close. But that one where he just like lunges at you and then does the vertical chop, you know, which is like to close space. I think like I can do that if I do a backstep like that, something like that. He's basically just doing that when I'm standing right in front of him. But this whole time I've been trying to circle. That's another thing too, because you know how when you lock onto, okay, I can't show it here. When you lock onto an enemy, you circle around them. It's not like Zelda where it breaks it to relative 2D space. You circle around them. You move in 2 dimensions like this. But I'll be doing that. He'll move forward, but he'll still hit me. So I think what's happening there is that when he's lunging, and those moments when I'm moving to the side, he's actually still moving towards me. He's curving, basically.
Yeah,
Because I saw that the old hero do that. The last second, he'll, like, change. It's not how mine is, where during my startup frames, I can still decide where I want to go. So in startup, and then I can just turn it around like that. They do it in the middle of their active frames, which to me is kind of the wrong way to do that kind of thing. Or when they're just doing a dash. I don't know. I'm trying to talk like I'm an authority on the thing, but to me it would. Here's where I'm remembering to question myself and what I'm thinking. But I think that is what is happening. Is that's why I when I was playing those other attempts earlier, why he always seems to hit me when he lunges at me, and that's because he doesn't actually lunge straight, which is why moving to the side doesn't actually move you out of the way. Like, that has to be what's happening. I mean, I don't see any other explanation for it. And that's the weird thing, too, because he's hitting me with, when I'm moving to the side with the move where he's doing a chop, it's like you'd think that's the easiest move to dodge by moving to the side. Normally, it's the swipes, like what that guy just did right there, that moving to the side doesn't work. Because again, it's like if you move around someone and they're punching with their right hand, well, you're basically just moving closer to their fist. So it makes sense that if they're doing an uppercut or a chop, move to the side. If they're swinging horizontal or doing a backhand, move back away. Same thing with the thrust. If they're thrusting forward, move back away. But that guy is just like, I don't care. Whoops, I rolled right into that. I noticed this guy doesn't actually have a shield. He just two hands. Gotcha. Hey Richard, have you played Monster Hunter? Oh, busy with video editing.
Yep, I played it.
So, what do you make of that game's combat?
It's got some interesting things going for it, but pretty hard to. Well, I don't know. I think half the things I don't like about it is because they mix it with some pretty heavy RPG elements, and I
Like this
typically
game.
don't like RPG elements. So, like any part that I like that's action based has this sort of other half where it's like, yeah, the complexity of the RPG systems kind of ruins it. But in general, the combat is neat because of certain complexities. The bosses have tons of specific hitboxes on their face, their belly, their wings, their tails, their individual legs, and certain parts of their back. So, like, oh, that's cool. Like, you can aim at very specific parts of the body with different weapons to get different effects, right? Like, if it slows down the target, if you hit its head, will it get dizzy? If you chop the tail, will you be able to chop it off? And that changes what attacks it can do. Like, all that's really neat. Um, but the fact that your weapons are so freaking slow, you're like, you don't have enough ability as a player to play into a lot of those interesting parts of the system. At least I didn't, and a lot of people that I played don't. They spend a lot of time leveling up their character, getting the right gear, and then a lot of time just sort of playing it safe and learning the boss over a long period of time, just so that they can do a little bit of really neat strategy. And I think that's kind of a waste. Like, I can play a game or design a game where I can get to the neat action-based gameplay strategy almost instantly, and I don't need to play 20, 30, 50, 100 hours just to then kind of get a decent battle out of it.
That's interesting. I mean, kind of what a lot of what you said there is, I feel like it's kind of happening with this game. I mean, I don't know if this game is as slow as Monster Hunter, but I hear echo. But I don't know. It does feel like it has a little bit of what you described about being
Mm-hmm.
like you feel like you're too slow,
Yeah.
or the either you're too slow relative to your enemies. I should put that, because in some ways this game is actually pretty average speed. It's like it's not that slow, but it's like your enemies are so much faster because they don't take much hits done at all. Like this SOB over here,
Yeah.
where he just kind of keeps going, and it's like, and his super armor too, where it's like there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of interplay there. I mean, games do this often enough, RPGs do it often enough, but they design their enemies. They have a limited amount of interplay to begin with, but when the game gets harder, they usually jack up their HP and jack up how much damage they do, and then occasionally they will, um, give them super armor and just sort of take away what little um, advantages you can gain in certain instances. It just makes these bosses like really hard to deal with. You just fight them over a long period of time. It's a lot of waiting. It's a lot of playing it safe. And I play competitive fighting games, so that's about as grueling and as cutthroat as it gets in terms of people willing to wait you out and time you out and play these strategies. But I think single player games are fundamentally different, at least in how I enjoy them or the ones I enjoy.
Yeah. I kind of had a similar feeling where Wario fan, you heard me say this earlier, but I feel like super armor is the kind of thing that usually makes more sense in a fighting game. At least with, you know, melee-based combat like this, because the only other area where I see enemies that don't flinch when you hit them is when they're so huge, but at the same time so slow that you can deal with it. You know, kind of like Armstrong in Metal Gear Rising, where he doesn't flinch, but you can hit him like 5 times before he can finish that first punch. And games like Mega Man, but that's more projectile based, so of course the bosses don't need to flinch. You know, when you shoot them. Actually, they don't even flinch when you hit them with the Zero Sabers, so that's another different thing there. And yeah, and I get that similar feeling where it's like some of the good parts of this game I feel like are kind of going to waste because of some of the decisions they made. Like, that boss could be just fine, but if it wasn't for the super armor, his ability to just flinch and then unflinch so fast before I'll attack, I'll need to recover my move, but then he's just already attacking again because he doesn't stun for very long. You know, just little things like that would go a long way into fixing that fight. And if he just didn't chip you on most of those attacks. Like, I had to go through, and Wario fan can back me up, where I had to go through this process to learn that, oh, it's only when the sword hits you that he cleaves off like half my health even though I block it. But if you back away far enough where the sword beam comes out, it doesn't actually do much of anything at all to your stamina. Except a few other moves where the sword beam does do a lot to your stamina. So it's like a lot of little arbitrary things like that. Wow, I'm not paying attention to this fight.
That guy's taking a lot out of you.
Yeah, it's because I've had my brain turned off for a while now, but now it's actually because I've been fighting these same dudes over and over and usually been beating them with relative ease, but now that moment there, I was playing sloppy enough to actually pay attention. So yeah. Also, that part where you said about hitting enemies in specific areas, that's one of the reasons why I think it would be interesting if this game, because the thing is, you actually can use the right stick to, like, well, actually I don't think you saw it, you can actually see it, where you can like aim your attack high and low. Yeah, see, there, where like I have the camera angled low, and you notice Rapier hitting the ground, but they don't actually make use of that. And even though this game has the control set up kind of like a third-person shooter where you can move the camera and like attack at the same time, for whatever reason they still felt the need to put in a lock-on system, so it's like basically I almost don't even see the point of why you made the controls like this if you're just gonna have me lock onto them and have it automatically face anyways, when you could have something like the player like manually controlling the camera and where they're facing to fight them, you know, like in Resident Evil 4, or a little bit like that. That's why I'm kind of interested in playing Skyward Sword, or actually Skyward Sword kind of has what I wanted to see out of this game, of like, fuck, bastard hit me when I'm running away from him. Using the ability to control the direction of your attack to like hit them in specific spots. Like, to me that's cool. And I think that could have been a cool thing to see in this game. Or this game, you know, if it wasn't so halfway with this design, that would have been something it could have gone for. I don't know what it, I don't know. Fuck. I'm just thinking out loud. I don't know what I'm talking about. Basically, I feel like this game...
It should be more like Zelda.
Yeah, make it more like Zelda. Like the camera, the lock-on, just make that more like Zelda.
I think I mentioned this last time we brought it up, but that's That's funny to me because there's so many people who wish Zelda was more like the Souls games.
No,
I know, right?
because one, this camera would be terrible for Zelda, absolutely terrible. That stamina meter, unnecessary. Actually, that stamina meter is another thing that I thought was kind of cool at first, but it's also kind of what plays into you having to like just constantly back away all of it. On the one hand, it like keeps you from having to shield everything, or just dodge through everything, because that's something like in Bayonetta where you can just dodge everything super easily. But in some ways, I feel like that's okay because it's a game about hitting things. You're not gonna get anything if you just dodge all the time. But I think having all three of these on like the same resource, because there are other games where they have something similar to stamina, like Kid Icarus Uprising. How did they keep you from dodging too much? Well, they basically just made it get shorter and shorter until you get nothing at all.
It's
How did they
true.
how did they keep you from dashing too much so you don't just run away from everything? Well, they basically made him so that he gets tired, but it's not like it's using the same stamina as the side. Did the fucking elevator just go back down? Are you for real?
Little men want to hear more of your conversation.
So, so it's like Kid Icarus has a way of dealing with you just, rolling through everything. Because rolling's really good at that game, in that game. Well, no. You still have to use your rolls carefully. You can't just spam it. And that's one of the things at first that I liked about this, because one way to counter players just spamming the R1 button, just go like attack, 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 attack. They'll never hit me because I'm hitting too fast for them to do anything about it. Is to put a stamina meter on it, right? Like I would think, that's one way to make it so that the game is more precision based, if you will. Same thing with blocking. Like how do you keep them? Like that's the whole point of a stamina meter, is to keep the player from doing too much of one thing that they basically don't need any skill when using it. But here, I think they kind of went a little bit overboard and put too many things on like the same stamina meter. It's not good for single. It's not that great for one-on-one. It's not that great fighting multiple things. Unless they were like designed a certain way. I feel like the only time where I felt like this game was really coming together was the Stonefang Mines, where it almost like turned into Resident Evil 4, where you have like a bunch of these slow-moving enemies coming at you, but you can't just mash the R1 button like an idiot and hope to get them all just because they're slow and they take a long time to actually attack you. I feel like that was the moment that that this game, what it's doing with its combat system, where it kind of came through. But it actually doesn't do that often. Look at this. He's already attacking
later,
again.
guys.
Oh. You're leaving. It sucks. Yeah, that sucks too.